Thank you for staying with us, everyone. A big question is, have you registered for 2019 election? They say that the power is in your vote. And so if you cannot register, then you cannot vote. Then that means that your power is not going to be activated. But INEC says that it has organized a continuous voter registration up until 2019. This has not been done perhaps in the last 20 years in our democratic history. So when this opportunity is given, how do we go about it? I've been talking with Mr. Solomon Shoyebi, is the INEC National Commissioner for Voter Education and Publicity. Some other issues regarding the budget of the commission and the administration of same. Let's continue with the conversation with Mr. Shoyebi right now. And of course, we did also invite one of the co-founders of the new party, Alliance for Progressive what's the name now? APDA. Right. We did invite them to come on Channels Television tonight. Unfortunately, Chief Dan Nwanyawu is still not joined us on the program. We'll give people opportunity to tell Nigerians their manifesto. The word out there is that they are being funded by another party. Those are some of the issues we needed to find out. But we continue the conversation on the CVR and INEC administration. Thank you so much, Mr. Shoyebi.
Thank you very much.
INEC is it's a first in terms of the disbursement of revenue, first line. So when you say that in terms of funding, that's a major problem for your CVR, what do you mean? Is it that there's no enough funding or what?
I said budgetary constraints.
Your budget
for the continuous voters registration exercise, for it to be as successful as one would have wished, would be to really deploy our resources down to registration areas which we call the ward level. When we did our calculations, excluding the hardware themselves and then the software, the equipment, we need about, for the exercise, we need about 22 billion naira for the payment of ad hoc staff for just 5 weeks. We have 8,009 registration areas. At 2,000 naira per day for transportation, 1,000 for transportation, 1,000 naira for feeding. For personnel alone, we will be requiring about 90 million naira every day.
Do you need an extra personnel to do this job? You have INEC officials in every local government on all the states of the federation.
With the driver,
you need a special
from the
personnel?
Chairman to the drivers, we have about 16,000 staff. For work to be done at the registration area level, we need about 50,000 personnel. It would even have been worse if you had gone down to the polling unit level, where we would have needed about 600,000 people, without even including people like the security. For every election we conduct, we make use of not less than 1 million personnel, where you put the security personnel, the security agents and everything together. That is the size of the electoral space in Nigeria. We are so large. We have slightly less than half of the whole electoral process in Africa. That is one thing with Nigeria. You'll be shocked that this 600-something-thousand which we are talking about, which we have registered just in 5 weeks, is higher than about 10, the voter registration strength of about 4 to 5 different countries in West Africa.
How sophisticated is your system now, your register? Is it totally electronic and totally...
It's totally electronic, and it's still the same direct data capturing which we are doing. We capture the data directly. We take your biodata, your name, and every other narrative about your age, address, phone number, and everything. And then we do the biometrics. We take your picture, and of course we have your fingerprint, which will be used for verification electronically. The difference now is that it was 10 in the previous registration, 1, 2, 3, 4, but this time around 10 fingers. The But this time around, it's still going to be 10 figures, but 4 together and then 1 individual, just like the modern one.
Okay.
So the fingerprint capturing system has changed. It's now modern.
More sophisticated.
Yes.
The question is, when you say sophisticated, the question is, how then did Governor Yaya Bello, according to a statement you released, was able to register again, like you said, that he did double registration?
Well, when we talk about that particular issue, we made a statement about it. We have issued a statement about it, and we told you, well, we are not adding or subtracting anything from this statement. But let me tell you this: when we talk about data capturing, which we do on the field, it's still manual at that level. Don't forget that whatever we have there is domesticated only in one machine. We still have to compare before we talk about we detect double registration. We still have to compare against the old 75 million voters that we have before we can detect.
That's the EFIS and the EFIS.
That's the EFIS system. Yeah. To run EFIS is not done on the field. It is done at the back end.
At what level did you discover that Governor Yaya Bello has engaged in double registration?
I've told you, we have issued a statement on that. I will not.
No, because the issue is that
go back to our statement.
I have your statement, and Mr. Shoyabi, the talk on the street is that that statement by INEC was political. And the man, the official of INEC, what have you done to that man?
Well, that's an internal inquiry going on. We are dealing with it administratively. That much I can assure you. Anybody who contradicts any of our laws will be dealt with. And that's exactly what we are doing.
So at what point did you realize that Mr. Yaya Bello, the governor, did double registration?
I'm telling you, go back to our statement. We are not. If you are asking about the point, you can be sure if you read the statement, we talked about the date of the first registration, and if you want the time, we can tell you the time. These are facts. We have some facts, and which we released to the press, and as I said, and which I have said consistently, the statement speaks for itself. We have a lot of things to attend to. Instead of going back to a statement which issued about 4 or 5 weeks ago, which has spoken for itself. It's like trying to overflog a dead horse. We don't.
No, this does not look like a dead horse. It's an issue that brings to question, because we're talking about a related matter now. And again, it brings also to the table the issue of the sophistication of your equipment and the failure of the card readers on the field. Have you learned from the 2015 experience, and what are you doing about the card reader machine? Don't forget, Mr. Shoyabi, you and I had met on the field in some states, and where people had complained about the veracity and of the card reading machine. What have you done differently this time?
In fact, I'm not here with the facts. We have conducted about 190 different elections since we came in. I can give you the percentage of failure of the smart card readers.
Up to 50%?
Not even up to 15.
Not up to 15.
But a bad smart card reader makes more noise than 20 LD smart card readers. That's the country for you. One that goes faulty becomes an issue of attention. We don't measure our operations here by success. We tend to see things from the negative end, and then we measure our failures to judge a particular system. The smart card readers have not really performed badly, but that does not mean that they should not be perfect.
Some of the issues raised were the issues of the power life,
the
battery life
it has never been. It's just inability to capture. Mostly.
And the networks.
The networks, we use all networks now. So if one does not work...
How many networks did you use in 2015?
In 2015, in fact, before they realized... Once they realized the problem, they went on all networks, even on the same day. But the initial failure caught more attention and made more noise than the success.
So you have all the networks working on all your card readers now?
If one does not work, another will work. Because it's not the availability of network in all the areas we operate are not uniform. You might say that you might find MTN being strong here, and then some other places it could be Etisalat, it could be anything, but then we make sure they work. But the beauty of it is our redundancy. We attend very promptly to failed smart card readers. We have technicians on ground, but once it fails, people just say, oh, this one has failed. Oh, they don't even see the aftermath of might be a repair or correction of the problem. It's just the failure people look at. And I want to assure you all the elections that we have conducted,